I'll make you a bet right now. Give me 3 weeks, 5 exercises, and not one single squat, and you'll rebuild strength in your legs that you may have thought was gone forever. If I'm wrong, you've lost 21 days. But if I'm right, you'll get your legs back, the kind of legs that let you stand up easily, climb stairs confidently, and stay independent. A 63-year-old woman made that bet in my clinic. She avoided stairs whenever she could. Getting out of a chair had become a struggle, and every step felt slower than the year before. Her family told her to walk more. Others told her to do squats. After only a few sessions, her knees were so sore she stopped trying altogether. She had convinced herself weak legs were simply part of getting older, and that nothing was going to change. 3 weeks later, she walked up the stairs in her home without reaching for the railing. For the first time in years, she trusted her legs again. Here's the part that should concern you. After 60, you naturally lose muscle throughout your body, but one of the biggest losses happens in the muscles that keep you standing, climbing stairs, catching yourself when you stumble, and getting out of a chair. Walking is one of the healthiest things you can do, but once those muscles have already weakened, walking alone often isn't enough to rebuild them. And for many older adults, heavy squats simply put more stress on painful knees than they're worth. So you have 2 choices. You can keep forcing exercises your joints hate, or stop exercising altogether and quietly lose more strength every year. Neither road ends well. These 5 exercises offer a third option. They rebuild the muscles that matter most for balance, stability, and independence, without heavy squats, expensive equipment, or pounding your joints. And whatever you do, don't skip the number 1 exercise. Physical therapists commonly use it because it targets one of the first muscles older adults begin to lose, and it takes less than 2 minutes to do. One quick thing before we begin. Tell me in the comments. Do you hold the railing when you climb stairs, or has getting out of a chair become harder than it used to be? I read through the comments, and your answer tells me which exercise you're likely to need the most. Now let's begin with exercise number 5. Number 5, standing calf raises. Try these every morning, and you'll quickly understand why they're first on this list. Most people completely overlook their calves when they think about rebuilding leg strength. And after 60, that is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Your calves are the foundation of every step you take. They absorb shock when you walk, generate push-off force when you climb, and fire instantly when you stumble to keep you upright. Researchers tracked 200 adults between the ages of 55 and 75. And found that those with the weakest calves were 4 times more likely to fall within the next year. 4 times, from one muscle group most people never think about. Here is what most people get wrong. They bounce. Quick up, quick down, and they think it counts. Fast repetitions barely engage the calf muscle at all. Most of that force goes straight into the Achilles tendon instead. The real strength is built in the slow lowering, taking a full 3 seconds to come back down. That controlled descent is where your calf fibers are forced to work hardest. Research has shown that emphasizing this slow lowering phase increases strength gains by 34% compared to going up and down quickly. Here is how to do it. Stand behind a sturdy chair, both hands resting lightly on the back. Rise up onto your toes as high as you can. Squeeze hard at the top for 2 seconds. Then lower over a slow count of 3. That is 1 repetition. Week 1, do 2 sets of 10 with both feet. Focus only on that slow descent. Week 2, push to 12 repetitions and hold the squeeze at the top for a full 3 seconds. Week 3, try single leg raises or hold something with a little weight in one hand. Even a water bottle works. One tip that makes a big difference once you feel comfortable. Do these on the edge of a low step instead of flat ground. Letting your heel drop below the step at the bottom gives you a deeper stretch and a greater range of motion. That extended range has been shown to produce significantly more muscle growth over time than flat ground raises. Just make sure you hold on to something stable, because the balance demand increases. Most people feel steadier on their feet within the first 5 days. Your ankles feel more stable, your steps feel more confident, and that shaky feeling on uneven ground starts to fade. But calf strength alone only protects the bottom half of the chain. The muscle behind your knee that controls whether stairs hurt or not. That is where we go next. Number 4, standing hamstring curls. If your knees ache when you walk downstairs, this is the exercise you have probably never been told to do. Most people assume knee pain means a knee problem, but in the majority of cases after 60, the real issue is the muscle behind your knee, not the joint itself. Your hamstrings run along the back of your thigh. They stabilize the knee joint with every step, every stair, every time you lower yourself into a chair. When they weaken, and they weaken fast after 60 because sitting shortens them all day, the knee takes the punishment alone, and the damage spreads further than most people realize. Weak, tight hamstrings pull on your pelvis, flatten the natural curve of your lower back, and make your knees less stable all at once. That is why so many people with chronic knee pain also have a sore lower back. The two problems share the same root. Researchers found that hamstring weakness was present in 67% of adults over 55 who reported chronic knee pain. And when those adults strengthened their hamstrings, knee pain dropped by an average of 41% within 6 weeks. Almost half the pain gone, from a muscle most of them had never trained. Here is how to do it. Stand tall beside a wall or counter, one hand resting on it for balance. Shift your weight onto your left leg. Now slowly bend your right knee, bringing your heel up toward your backside. You do not need to touch your glutes. Bring it as far as is comfortable. Hold 1 second at the top, then lower slowly over 2 to 3 seconds. That slow lowering is the whole point. It forces the hamstring to stay under tension longer, and that is what drives real strength adaptation. Week 1, do 2 sets of 10 on each leg with body weight only. Week 2, slow the lowering to a full 4 seconds and push to 12 per leg. Week 3, add a light ankle weight. 2 pounds is enough to start, and aim for 10 controlled reps. One common mistake, leaning forward or arching the back. The instant you lean, the hamstring releases and your lower back takes over. Stand tall the entire time, like a string is pulling you up from the crown of your head. Do these on the same days as your calf raises, and you have already rebuilt 2 of the biggest weak links in the aging lower body, the ankle complex and the knee stabilizers. But neither of those muscles can help you if the single largest muscle in your body has gone to sleep. And after 60, for most people, it has. Now, let's move on to the exercise I teased at the beginning, because this one targets one of the first muscles older adults lose, and one of the easiest to rebuild. Number 3, glute bridges. Here is a quick test. Stand up right now if you can. Squeeze your backside as hard as possible. If you barely feel anything fire, you have the same problem as most adults over 60, and it is making everything harder. Your glutes are the largest muscle in your entire body. They power hip extension. They stabilize your pelvis. They are the reason you can stand up from a low chair without toppling forward. But modern life has shut them off. Sitting for hours every day keeps the glutes stretched and inactive, and over time, your brain simply stops sending strong signals to those fibers. Researchers have a name for it: gluteal amnesia. One study found that adults who sit more than 6 hours a day had 35% lower glute activation during walking compared to active adults. That means even when you are moving, your glutes are barely showing up. Your lower back and your knees are doing their job instead. One detail separates this from a waste of time. Push through your toes and your quads take over. The glutes never fire. Press through the heels, and the entire chain from your hips to your calves contracts together. Here is how to do it. Lie on your back on a mat, carpet, or even your bed. Bend your knees, feet flat, hip width apart. Press through your heels and lift your hips until your body forms a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Squeeze your glutes as hard as you possibly can at the top. Hold 2 seconds. Lower slowly. Start with 2 sets of 12. Focus entirely on the squeeze at the top. That is the moment your brain reconnects to the muscle. Once that feels manageable, usually within a week, slow the descent to 3 full seconds and push to 15. By week 3, try extending one leg straight while bridging on the other. Single leg bridges roughly double the load on the working glute. The foot placement matters more than you think. If your feet are too close to your backside, you will feel it in your quads. Too far away, and your hamstrings take over. The sweet spot is when your shins are roughly vertical at the top of the bridge. When researchers tested adults over 50 who did glute bridges 3 times per week for just 4 weeks, walking speed improved by 14%, and the time it took to stand from a chair dropped by 19%. Those are the exact improvements that show up in daily life: carrying groceries, getting out of a car, walking up a hill, standing from a low couch. All of it gets easier when your glutes remember how to do their job again. But there is still one movement pattern your legs need that none of these 3 can train: the ability to hold your own body weight completely still under pressure. That is what comes next. Number 2, wall sits. Most leg exercises involve movement. This one does not, and that is exactly why it works so well after 60. The wall sit is isometric. Your muscles work hard, but your joints do not move. For anyone dealing with arthritis, stiff knees, or old injuries, this changes everything. You get the full benefit of heavy leg training without a single degree of joint stress. But what makes this one exceptional goes beyond the legs. A landmark review analyzed 270 exercise trials and found that isometric holds like the wall sit produced the single largest drop in blood pressure of any exercise type tested, an average reduction of roughly 8 points systolic and 4 points diastolic. You are rebuilding your legs and protecting your heart in the same movement, and the leg benefits alone are substantial. Adults over 50 who performed progressive wall sit holds 3 times per week for 3 weeks improved their quadriceps strength by 18% and their dynamic balance scores by 23%. That balance improvement is what keeps you steady when you stop mid-step, pause on a stair, or shift your weight at the kitchen counter. Here is how to do it. Stand with your back flat against a wall. Walk your feet out about 2 steps. Slide down until your thighs reach whatever angle feels challenging but manageable. It does not have to be deep. Your knees stay behind your toes. Your back stays pressed into the wall. And you hold. The one mistake that can actually hurt you: holding your breath. Breath holding during isometric exercise can spike your blood pressure sharply, the exact opposite of what you want. Breathe slowly and steadily the entire time. The breathing is part of the exercise. Start with a 15-second hold, rest, and repeat 3 times. Add 10 seconds each week. By week 3, aim for 40 seconds. And if that feels manageable, slide 1 inch deeper down the wall. Your thighs will burn. That burn is every muscle fiber in your legs contracting at once with nowhere to hide. The beauty of this movement is that it takes a wall, nothing else, and there is never an excuse to skip it. And now, we have arrived at number 1, the exercise I promised you at the beginning, and the one that ties everything on this list together into the single movement pattern that matters most. Number 1, step-ups. Of everything on this list, this exercise has the strongest research behind it, and the reason is simple. It mirrors the exact movement that predicts whether you will keep your independence or lose it. Climbing stairs, stepping over a threshold, getting onto a curb, standing from a low seat. Every one of these is a variation of the step-up. Researchers tracked 350 adults between the ages of 55 and 80 for 5 years. They tested grip strength, they tested walking speed, they tested balance. Out of every physical test they measured, one predicted independent living more accurately than all the others: the ability to step up onto a platform without help. It predicted independence with 87% accuracy. It sits at number 1 because it is the most real exercise on this list. Here is how to do it. Find a single low step. The bottom stair in your home works perfectly. Start with something 6 to 8 inches high. Place your entire right foot flat on the step. Press through your heel and stand all the way up, bringing your left foot beside the right at the top. Now, step back down, leading with your left foot, and control the descent over a slow count of 3. That slow step down is the most important part of the entire movement. Lowering strength, the ability to control your body on the way down, is 3 times more predictive of fall risk than the ability to push upward. Every controlled step down you perform is training the exact reflex that catches you on a wet floor, a loose rug, or an uneven curb. And there is another reason step-ups are so effective that most exercises miss entirely. They train one leg at a time. That means each leg has to carry your full body weight independently, with no help from the other side. During two-legged exercises, your stronger leg does more than its fair share without you ever noticing. Step-ups expose that imbalance and correct it, one rep at a time. Pay attention to the bottom foot. The moment you push off with it, you steal the work from the leg on the step, which is the leg that needs the training. Think about pulling yourself up with the top leg. Let the bottom foot leave the ground, nothing more. Start with 2 sets of 8 on each leg, using your lowest available step. Use a railing or the wall for balance if you need it. Each week, add 2 reps per leg and slow the step down by 1 second. By week 3, raise the step height by 2 inches, or hold a light weight at your chest. If balance is a concern, keep one hand on the wall for as long as you need. The goal is to need it a little less each session. Within 3 weeks, stairs feel different. Getting out of a chair feels different. The hesitation before you step off a curb starts to disappear. The muscles were always there. They were just waiting to be switched back on. So, there you have it. 5 movements that work together, from the ankle up through the knee, the glute, the thigh, and finally, the full step that ties it all into one pattern. You do not need to do all 5 today. Start with number 5 tonight. Add the next one in a few days. Build the way your body wants to build, gradually, consistently, without force. 3 sessions a week, a rest day between each. And by week 3, you will likely feel the change before you see it. Legs that respond when you ask them to, stairs that do not make you pause, and a chair that you leave without thinking about it. Walking is not the enemy. It is simply not enough on its own. These 5 movements are what walking was always missing. Now, tell me in the comments, which exercise surprised you the most? And which one are you starting with tonight? I read through the comments, and I will tell you what to pair it with based on where you are right now. If this video helped, don't stop here. The video on your screen right now shows the one simple bed exercise many physical therapists use to rebuild leg strength when walking alone is no longer enough. It pairs perfectly with the exercises you just learned, and it could make an even bigger difference for your legs. I'll see you there.